wait till the night before Christmas to be good.
And in 3, 2, 1, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 93 of the Prehistoric Podcast, part 5 in the 12 Podcasts of Christmas. As always, I'm one of your hosts, Francois Nation.
I'm Andrew Soares Claus.
I'm Cat in a Hat.
And today we have two very special guests with us, longtime friends, Cam and Heather, or as we like to call them, Kether and Ham, from Prairie Breweries here in the city.
Ham and Kether.
Yeah, you fucked it up.
What did I say?
You said
Kether and Ham. It's Ham and Kether, but...
You know, it just rings.
Oh, I gotta
Ham
say,
together.
the one before the other one. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fucked it up already. Anyways, I guess, who are you guys and what do you do?
Oh, that's a big question.
That's a huge question.
That's like the first half of the podcast right there.
Yeah, I could talk for hours. Well, I'm Heather, and
Kether, yeah.
Ham, Heather, whatever.
I think it's Ham and Kether when it's like the unit.
Yeah, exactly.
And separately you are Heather and...
I feel like I'm like in the couch.
Yeah, it's really broken in. It's a university couch.
It's been
It's
around
comfy.
for...
It went from Brad's houses, a couple houses in university, all through his university career, and then...
I got them for free.
Yeah,
So
and then
Has
finally...
it ever been like washed?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah. Brad, you steam cleaned it
I
that
did
one
steam
time.
clean it when we...
When you brought it up,
One time, yeah.
most
Yeah.
recently when you brought it out of the sea can, I think.
I was steam cleaned.
Yeah.
And it's only had like people sit on it 80 more times since then.
And it's
For
only
an
been
hour at a
there's only
time.
been
Do you
a
have, like,
couple
a
there's only been a
couch
couple
journal?
drunk people
Yeah,
that
I
passed
do.
out on it.
It's right here.
Exclusively our podcast couch.
Well, it's done other stuff like have people sit on it to play beer pong, but that's about it.
There's been a couple
It's
people,
really clean. It's as clean
It's
as couch.
comfy. No,
a couple
it's good. I
people
like
passed
it. I
out
really
on
like
it here and there. When
That's
you,
what I was thinking
It's
it'd be
also
good
tough to
for.
sleep. It's-
Like a really comfy.
it's real. I've
mattress.
slept on it once, and it's very well. I'm also very large and tall, so it was very uncomfortable for me. But maybe for a shorter person, it would be okay.
I guess before we get into your... let's just get the fifth...
The song out of the way.
Oh.
Yeah.
They brew craft beer.
Oh yeah, we're the owners of Prairie Brewery.
Yeah.
So on the fifth podcast of...
Are you singing already?
Yeah.
On
the fifth podcast of Christmas, Prehistoric Productions drank for me 5 craft beers.
Alright, I got it.
Yeah.
He did it good that time.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't even have to sing the whole thing.
On
No.
on the 12th one,
we sing the whole
Okay.
thing,
we
and then
think because we drink everything we did leading
Yes,
up to
yeah.
it.
and then
So
That'll
that's
be
a,
exciting.
that's a fucking mockery.
Cool.
yeah. That
It
just
sucks. It's not fun. It's
We-
No,
really
it's exciting.
we do it for our fan though.
Yeah, we do
For
it
our
for
fan.
Thanks, guy.
Thanks.
I don't... Yeah. Anyway, so you guys have brought on some craft beer.
Yes.
Should we open them both?
This is the first
Or
time
one
a
at a
guest
time?
has ever brought the gift on the podcast.
What?
This is wonderful.
Yeah, this is
Why wouldn't
very
you
exciting.
make your... Well, I guess. They probably don't make it.
All right.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is pretty special.
So we brought 2 different beers.
What would you like
wow.
to start with?
Which-
I'll leave that up to you
I think I
guys.
have
But
one. Is the little tag what it is?
This is a... Well, do you want to start with yours, actually? We should start with... No, we should start with the lighter one.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So we brought a different brewery's beer just to, I don't know, support our neighbors and
Awesome.
our
To
friends.
To fit the Christmas theme,
yeah,
too.
yeah,
Yeah.
So when you're out buying craft beer, there's more than just us, but you should obviously stop by and get craft beer from us. But
Totally.
so we bought the Golden Ticket from 9 Mile Legacy.
ooh, that sounds
That's a
interesting.
cute name.
Yeah, and well, we got it because, 5 golden rings.
Oh, that's
Hey.
awesome. God,
Yeah.
you guys are so...
Wait.
I
So
wish we
they're
would've brought
wearing
stuff
Christmas sweaters, thinking about the 5 golden rings.
Not
Yeah,
bad. I
yeah,
wish we would have
yeah.
brought stuff like paired with now. Like now it's like I feel like it's like we're doing like a thing.
It's a thing.
Interesting. I
always
don't
a
know if
thing.
I ever told you guys, the 9 Mile Legacy people are not from far from Cavery.
Right.
Like where we grew up.
Yeah, their story is really cool.
Yeah.
They're it's 2 guys, 2 best friends. They grew up together,
Yeah.
and then their 2 farms, family
9
farms,
miles
are
away.
9 miles away. And I guess they've been working together for
Well,
years,
Their
years
family
and years and
has
years. Yeah.
their family has been collaborating for like 4 or 5 generations.
See, I know Sean quite well. Sean.
Are they?
Mullen.
Where are they based
Mullen.
out of?
Yeah. They're right on 20th.
Oh, in the city.
Yeah.
Like it's Jim and Nancy's son.
Okay.
Oh, like you really
Sean.
know them.
Yes, he was a lawyer. Yeah, they're like, I know
Oh,
them
Pelche.
really well.
That's so
Pelche.
cool.
Actually, Sean's
We met him at Jim's place that one
yeah,
night. Yeah.
Sean's grandmother was very close. So the town that I'm actually
Can't
from
fill
is
this whole thing because like,
No,
that would be
maybe-
all the beer.
Both how you feel.
well, we kind of got the boots for you guys, so you drink as much as you can handle.
Or we'll go with that for now.
Anyway,
We got a babysitter, so it's on.
that's perfect.
Frank actually like the. Oh well.
Anyway, so I grew up in a little town called Rosary, which like it doesn't even really exist anymore, like a hamlet. And Sean's grandmother
Quacks.
grew up in that same town, so I actually have more of a connection than even just the kid.
We were actually gonna buy full yards initially, even half yards.
Okay, hold
Like-
that.
like-
Okay, yeah.
It's got us down.
And it was like the half yards are like $80
Holy moly.
just for the glass. So it was
These are
like
so cool.
we'll go with the quarter yard instead, just because it's
That's so
a little more
interesting.
reasonable.
It's like a
The full yards are
Potion.
awesome, but like as soon as you get a little bit tight, you got to put them away because they're so breakable.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
They-
Right,
they-
right,
They're so thin the whole
Yeah, and
way
it's
up.
not like it's not meant for any.
Like if you pick it up
There we
and the
go.
bulb is full of beer and you start moving it,
Like it might.
it's flux.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just the weight of the bulb.
like that.
pulls
Do you guys know the lore behind these glasses? Why they're
No,
this
I don't.
kind of
I have
shape?
no idea.
No, I didn't know there was.
Okay,
was
so
such a
like
thing.
in the 1800s, the guys who drove around in the carriages and stuff, they
we
wanted
go.
to have a beer,
Thank
so they invented this
Let's
glass.
do cheers, eh?
So while you're fucking driving horse on your front console, you've got this, and then you've got this
Oh.
blown glass, and the beer sits on the bottom. So when you're fucking like bouncing down the fucking road, your beer just fucking settles
thing.
right down in the holder.
That's a good
That's
idea.
That's
very
so
cool.
smart.
Because I mean,
that's-
everyone
that
was
makes sense.
was hammered 24/7
Yeah,
from
all the
1800 to
Well,
1900.
because alcohol was the only safe.
Well, cheers,
source of
gentlemen and
drink.
ladies.
Cheers,
Cheers.
cheers,
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much.
Cheers to craft beers
cheers to beers.
and Christmas. That's exciting.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I actually haven't drank this
interesting.
one.
What type of beer is it? So
Much.
it's a is it a lager
This is like
or
a golden
I think it's a
a
Belgian,
Belgian ale.
Belgian ale?
Belgian
Okay.
Belgian
Yeah.
golden ale.
Yeah. Yeah.
We looked it up, but I already forgot about it.
It's on
Be like, was it Michael Scott in The Office? This is a white, I believe. It's got the wine.
This is their description of it. Summer never tasted better. Well, it's not summer. It's winter now, but that's good.
Still tastes good.
Yeah, it still tastes good. The golden ticket brings spicy Belgian yeast character without the hefty alcohol content. That's basically it.
I like that.
I was ready to settle down for a long winter story, and then it's like, yeah, it's booze.
Belgian yeast or whatever.
No, it's
just drink
actually
it.
it's like that's pretty much all they have
So
to say.
it's-
They just
so it
said
said-
what to pair it with, and then it's 5.2% ABV,
I love
30
that, not
IBU.
heavy.
Yeah.
Still
Yeah.
5.2%.
For a craft beer, that's pretty like.
No, I know.
middle of
That's,
the
what,
road,
that's
I
why
guess.
it's funny.
What is the highest alcohol content beer you guys have ever brewed
Or tasted.
or tasted?
Well, probably about
Brewed
13.
11%.
Well, we brewed 11, but then we aged it in whiskey barrels, and then it just takes on some of that whiskey for sure. So I would say 13. Did it get up to 12 or 13?
Yeah. The strongest beer that's at Prairie Sun.
Yeah.
The strongest beer I've ever made is 15%.
At Paddockwood.
Yeah.
Was that the ice wine? The ice beer? Ice bock? Ice.
It was like a Belgian quad.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know the Woods has that Barrel of Monkeys beer that our one friend loves. It's like
Yeah.
14% or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not a huge stout fan usually, so I can't even touch it because it's so strong and
Yeah, we
it's
got
a
one of
stout.
those the other day, right? Barrel Monkeys?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
drank it down.
it was so good. It was the last one on the shelf at Sobeys liquor store. And I haven't had it in years, so I was like, oh, I'll try it. It's been good.
Oh, you shit can.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, this will be an interesting thing that you guys can have a take on that Andrew and I disagree about all the time.
Oh, okay.
What is your take on Sobeys liquor versus SLGA liquor stores? And
Okay.
regardless
Is it a
of
good
the,
thing?
even politics aside, the differences in between the two stores and what you guys find from your end as suppliers as well as consumers
Okay.
and dealing with that.
Yeah, I was
kind
going
of
to ask, like, from the professional side or the consumer side. Consumer side, I like it. Obviously, there's craft beer in fridges.
Yeah.
So they're keeping your craft beer cold, which means
And
That's
don't
a
they have
big
taps
win.
in the Sobeys too as well now? I think?
you can fill up
The
growlers.
one, the one at Preston has a growler fill station.
Yeah, yeah.
Love
It's,
the one at Preston.
yeah, it's
The
awesome.
guy, one of the guys who works there, he like comes to brew all the time.
Yeah.
I got him to be my like register on my passport application.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
are you
That's so-
serious?
yeah,
Yesterday?
that's awesome.
He did
Yeah,
that? Oh my
because
gosh,
Kalita
that's so
left
funny.
before I got there, and then he came in. And I was like, "Hey, how long have you known me? More than 2 years?" He's like,
Oh
"Yeah,
my
probably."
God.
And I
You're
just slid.
guarantor?
I like,
That's so
so I slid the
funny.
passport card, and I went down and got my waited in line. And then when I got back, he was still drinking beer at the bar, and I called him.
They called him while he was
Yeah,
there?
at the bar. And he was like, "Yeah, I know Cam."
That's so funny. Did he have his passport number on him?
He was the reference. He wasn't the guarantor.
Oh, okay. I
yeah,
see. Yeah.
so that was funny.
There's a
That's
reference
hilarious.
to make sure you're not some shady.
So we're pro
individual.
Sobeys, obviously.
Yeah,
Consumer side, I suppose.
Consumer side,
pro
yeah.
Chad.
Yeah. And then I have another friend that works at Sobeys. So, yeah, I like Sobeys. I think it's organized and it's like a nice feeling when you get inside. You get
This-
flyer miles, air
the-
miles, so that's a nice.
And the selection is just
Selection is
incredible.
good.
Yeah.
It's and
Totally.
like staff too.
They
Like,
bring
if
in
you're
new
looking
beers
for
all the
anything, like
time.
everybody knows where everything is.
Yeah.
Like I've never
Now-
been there and no one was a person wasn't able to
Now,
help me.
playing devil's advocate,
Okay, let's hear it.
I agree with all those sentiments. Like, it does have an awesome selection. The staff is super good. The stores are way nicer on the inside.
Very pretty.
But to that same point, I remember one of the early privatizations of liquor stores. The whole thing was like, yes, we have beer in coolers now, and if I remember correctly, SLGA stores for the most part can only have import beer in coolers.
Well, no, it costs the brewery. We can pay for space at SLJ, and it's a
Okay.
lot of money. So
Because I know, like,
Also,
I guess
also everything's in flux now because last year SLGA split into 2 corporations from 1.
okay,
So now there's SLGA Inc. that sells and SLJ Wholesale, which brings in alcohol, and then SLJ, and there used to be like hundreds of different price points for everyone. Now SLJ Wholesale brings in all the liquor, well, 99% of the liquor,
and then sells.
and then sells it, and SLJ Inc. pays the exact same
Price
as Sobeys, as does
Oh, I see. That
like
makes
the
more
guy
sense,
who has
kind
the
of.
Sutherland Hall off sale. They all do the same price now,
Okay.
so it's like a leveler playing field.
Yeah,
And now
it's
one
like a
of the-
3-tier system.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
now one of the things SLJ Inc. did is they took all the import and 6-pack beers and shit out of the coolers, and then on long weekends they'll put 2-4s in there. And because they sell more 2-4s, because the 2-4s are cold and the 18 packs are thing, apparently one weekend of sales, like they crunched the numbers, they made like an extra $300,000 for the
Really?
province or something.
Wow.
Wow.
Like, it was insane. So now it's all up in the air because it's like a whole new system.
And
yeah.
it's totally a more level playing field, so it's not. Yeah, because before that, I imagine Sobeys had a bit of a leg up, kind of.
Oh yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's why. Yeah, so everybody has to buy through SLGA distributor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically. Yeah. That
Unless you buy from a local producer, then we can just drop you beer off.
Right.
Yeah.
Could Sobeys buy local Alberta beer? Or does
No.
that have to go through the SLE?
Yeah.
As
Through
long as you're
SLE.
in province, so Prairie Sun Brewery
we
is
can
in the
direct
province,
deliver,
you can just direct deliver.
sale. Yeah.
Is it,
That's so
would it be
cool.
different for restaurants than buying craft beer from out of province, or
Everyone has to buy it through SLGA
everyone does have to buy it through
or
SLGA?
from a local producer.
Or a
Yeah.
local producer?
So we
Okay.
have our like van and we go around and deliver beer to everyone.
Yeah.
But everyone else just gets like the big order off the truck from SLGA, right? Essentially.
Or BDL.
Or BDL.
Can you so then as a distributor then could you order specific stuff from us, like if
Yes, but you have to
Yeah.
buy like a
A-
case.
a certain amount
So
of
if
it.
you want that $400 bottle of tequila that you love and you want to bring it in, just one bottle, you can't. You have to buy the whole case. So sometimes
Oh.
that case is 12 or 24 or whatever it is.
Right.
So 12 times
And
$400.
pay for all the
you know.
shipping and all that stuff.
Or more money, you know, like a rare bottle of wine, whatever you want, you'd have to buy.
A case. So does that give a leg up on local suppliers because you don't have to pass on, like obviously, so if Prairie Sun Brewery existed in Calgary and they had to sell to the supplier, obviously there has to be all the administrative costs, everything tacked on. So are you guys to an advantage of a craft brewer in Alberta trying to sell to SLGA, trying to sell to a
Yes, and that's the same as in any province.
Going
Like,
back.
they're
It's
going to want
as
to
it should
support
be.
their
Yeah.
Local,
their
absolutely.
local
That's
people.
cool. Yeah, I think that's
So we
awesome.
pay way higher tax sending it to Alberta. We have to pay, you know, like more shipping. We have to pay all the administration. We have to pay for more sales. It just like
Yeah, absolutely.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Beer is like one industry that's very local.
Yeah.
And that's why like a business like corporation like Anheuser-Busch owns like 400 different beer brands and has breweries spread across the world because they can't it only scales up to a certain size.
And then they can't go.
And then it just like because beer is so heavy, it just at a certain point it doesn't make sense to ship it.
Right. That's
So
so.
you can see it in the craft beer world also happening. Like the big regional craft breweries, they like are building breweries on the other side of the Rockies. Like Sierra Nevada, in Nevada, boom, they've got like North Carolina,
Yeah,
Stone
North
in,
Carolina,
like
We
California,
should ship our beer
boom.
to PA by river.
That-
Just like
that
put the
would be
kegs
so
in the
cool.
river, and then like they'll just float
And pick them up on the
to PA.
other.
and
Tie them to
then
pallets.
They can pull them
Just
out.
let 'em float.
Hire a couple people just like with long sticks to just kind of like
Just
if they
like
get caught, like push them
it'll
along
be like,
and
come do the weekend adventure, pay $500 and canoe to PA,
yeah.
and then but they will
Take some
take
beer
our
for
kegs.
us.
They'll pay
Yeah, it's
for
like
it.
making a whole experience. Like, yeah, you're living like the old,
Yeah,
the old days.
yeah.
Like,
Here,
also,
you're
use them with
bootlegging.
this case.
Oh,
Use
yeah.
Rafting down the
Use the
river.
barge stick.
It's so much fun.
It's so fun.
We could
Yeah,
hire
you
some,
charge
like-
them like a good like.
You can
for the
have some like
authentic
Al Capone
experience.
people like shooting at them.
Yeah,
and-
exactly.
there's the
Like
tunnels
we'll
in
go
Moose Jaw
out
make
with
money.
we'll go out with
They do.
paintball guns, and it's like, hey,
Yeah,
Right?
You darn bootleggers.
it's just like back in the day.
It's a squirrel! Kill him!
That's from a movie.
There you go. All right.
Well, that's I think that's all. Like, it's interesting to see it. It's so weird because like alcohol in general, I think in Saskatchewan is like such a huge thing.
It is.
But
Yeah.
everybody has a consumer perspective, and obviously very few people have like a.
Everyone drinks it, but then when you talk about it, everyone is so opinionated on. It's like, don't you just want to drink the beer? Like, I
Yeah.
don't know. People get all weird about the rules and
Yeah.
stuff. I'm like, don't you just want to make it easier on you? Meaning cheaper, easier to access. So private is going to be easier to access. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's hard.
I mean,
Sorry, yeah.
the nice thing would be having a system, not a system, but like being able to buy, like in Quebec, you can buy alcohol in convenience stores,
Right.
and that would be
So
nice to not
nice.
have to pay like off sale prices after hours would be awesome.
Right. Right.
But I mean, the fact that we have off sale is incredible because in Ontario, if you don't have liquor after 6 p.m., you're
Are they
fucked.
the beer store?
They have the beer store and
beer
the liquor
store,
store.
So
Also, milk in bags. So
Yeah, it's a backwards.
Milk and
It's
bags.
just-
You ever
is-
seen it?
No.
It is
Like in
it
a
is-
box?
It's a pitcher. Like you buy your
yeah,
family
you buy
pitcher
a
that you
plastic
keep,
pitcher.
and then in that pitcher goes a bag of milk, and then you cut a corner off the bag, and then pour the milk out of the bag.
Holy shit.
It,
I thought that
the-
was just for like cheap weird
That's a
people.
thing?
Exactly, it is.
Exactly.
There,
Cheap.
there,
I was like, I remember getting served that at like daycare, and like I knew that shit was fucked up when I was like 8 years old. I was like, this is
three
messed
reasons.
up.
3 reasons that it's better. 1, the milk takes up less space in your fridge. 2,
Yeah.
the bags that are unopened stay fresh longer because they're not opened.
Okay.
With a carton, even if you're closing it, it's still not as fresh as a totally sealed bag.
Right.
Also, you get more milk.
Like for your money.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Also,
I'm
if
not
you-
opposed to it
yeah,
because I've never
yeah.
tried it.
In addition to the fact that if you're not
It takes such a
if you're not
skilled hand
if
to
you're
cut
not
the
a
corner.
total retard, if you're not literally borderline retarded, it's so easy to not fuck up cutting a milk bag.
Also, the other problem is
So-
like
I
sometimes
poured it all in his cup.
the top of the bag gets.
Sorry.
So picture this:
realize
you've
I'm
got
smaller.
you've got a container and a bag full of liquid. So obviously, when you drop in at one point in contact, now there's a sealed air pocket below the bag. So I've had an instance where I dropped a milk bag in and I thought it was all the way in, but it was actually just cushioned on the air trapped underneath of the pitcher.
Yeah.
I cut the top off the bag of milk. I go to bed at the top of the bag bends over
Oh my
and just starts
God.
dumping all over
No.
everywhere.
Hence the comment of as long as you're not
Why don't they
borderline
just put it in a
retarded.
wine box then? Like milk in a bag. Wine
because the
box.
idea is like they're trying to reduce the environmental impact of
By putting it in
packaging.
Okay. Yeah, by
Well,
but
plastic.
it's-
By putting it in a non.
Why don't they just
recyclable.
sell it
Not
in
biodegradable.
glass? Like
It's
they used
recyclable.
To?
It's
Like glass
recyclable.
growlers.
That would be. I mean,
Stainless steel growlers.
We were talking about that. We're
What
gonna
do you
do
have,
milk
paper
on tap.
cartons?
That would be.
Like,
I
just
would.
like-
Paper is fine.
I could
Crazy
sit and
idea.
just crush cold milk from a tap. Like I would annihilate.
We're gonna do
We
milk on
have
tap.
talked about that.
Yeah,
Put up-
we're gonna
putting
just
milk on tap.
straight from the dairy because like right now
Come get fresh milk.
everyone like the big truck goes and they just like pick up everyone's milk and you know like some guys are obviously gonna be shitty at making milk. Some guys are gonna be awesome at making
Shitty
milk.
at
So.
milk.
yeah.
Because that's how everything is. So
The
you
shitty
just
milk
like
makers.
so you just have like instead of like the good milk getting blended with the bad milk and it's just all in a
bring your good
giant
milk.
tank. Just
We're
like
just
have
gonna
a
get the
keg
good
of
milk.
milk go straight from the really good guy.
The
You know,
good
it's like
dairy.
it's all grass fed.
Oh,
Soup. Everyone.
Grass-fed butter
Someone
is
pets
so
the cows
good.
every day.
They literally pets the cows.
You know, like this is really
Serenades
good.
them.
have you ever
Yeah.
had grass-fed butter before? Have you like specifically grass-fed butter?
No, I haven't.
No.
It is so much
Not
fucking
like
better.
a butter
Really?
connoisseur.
It is so fucking good. It's so good.
Here's the
You
flight
think
of our
you
butter.
think you think you think you're not until you try
Okay.
grass-fed butter and
I do appreciate
see
like
the difference.
mushrooms cooked in butter for like an hour.
Yeah.
So then, if it was better butter,
yeah,
it would be better.
It's a bit of better butter,
It's
a bit of
but
better
not
butter.
it's better butter though.
but it's
'Cause that would be-
but it's a bit of better. But
That's not even real stuff.
no, that's not even real.
That's not even real. You guys are gonna have to drink faster because we poured the least in our cups.
Fran has half the growler in his cup. I'm pretty sure.
I know. I was like, how much is left? Whoa, that much.
19-year-old Fran's ears perked up and he was like, ooh.
Andrew, why don't you hit us with a question, an intro
Sure.
question?
So it's Cards Against Humanity, the black cards, like the question cards, but we're gonna make up our own fill in the blanks instead of using one of the cards.
Right.
So,
Okay.
well, this is a good one. For my next trick, I will pull blank out of blank. For my next trick, I will pull blank out of blank. Francois.
I will pull head out of foreskin.
Oh,
Wow,
Oh.
that's powerful stuff. Great way to start.
Isn't that like
Thanks for coming on, guys. Anyway,
so? You have to say both.
I will.
like a rabbit out of the hat is the obvious one.
I can't do that trick even.
Yeah, exactly.
Only certain few.
It's
Team Rocket.
Okay.
It's blasting off again. Fran. No, we're not. Oh Jesus.
knocking stuff over.
We're not gonna. We've talked endless hours about circumcision on the podcast. We're not gonna do that again today. So for mine, I'm going to say
We have talked
For this
quite
ne-
extensively on that topic.
for the next trick, I'm going to pull the prescription pills from my grandmother's purse. Because there's nothing better than great bud thinners,
I like it because I imagine like a 5-year-old saying that.
and it's all about
And he goes up to
plot more and
his grandma's sleeping and then he kind of whispers, and for my next trick, I'm going to pull your prescription pills out of your purse.
Yeah.
And like my grandma's like 95. It's like these pills are like pop one, and you're like, whoa, like your blood's changing colors.
Did you bring some?
No, I forgot them this time.
Is it beta blockers that are supposed to make you like really confident because it like there's a type of like of
Are
blood
you a
pressure.
beta? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I am one of the creators of the infamous song Beta Cuck.
Right. Indeed, you are.
Yeah.
I'm so confused how to drink this. Every time I go to drink it, I get way more in my mouth than I want, or than I planned. Like, because of the shape? Is it weird?
Because you go
That's what she
over
said.
the.
Well, yeah,
you've
because
got
it accelerates.
it accelerates
Yeah.
You
down.
got to kind of like
And
slowly.
then every time I almost, like, like cough, barf all the beer all over everyone.
No, picture a Foliard. No, that'll accelerate.
Like it's like this. They're like this tall.
Yeah,
Because that's like I hate it because it's like you can't focus on it here. Like you can only focus on what's here. So you're like, oh, I get the speed, but
You
it's
can
like
pull
it picks
focus.
up. What about I'm just saying? Oh, whatever.
What's
like,
your f-stop?
There is like you could only like focus within like something like 2 inches within your face, and then after that you can't see anything. But it's like even that little bit of distance, you're like, oh, I can see what speed it's going. But the amount
It
of
comes
speed
so
it picks
fast.
up is like, and then it just hits my face and it's all over the ground. And can't do it.
Heather, for your next trick, you'll pull blank out of a blank.
Oh my god.
Just out of blank, not even out of just out of blank.
Can I pull the creamy milk out of the grass-fed cow's udder?
Yes, you
Sure,
can.
Okay.
sure you can.
That is a trick.
Cam, what do you got for us?
For my next trick, I'm going to pull a delicious craft beer out of this.
Yeah! He did it perfectly. He did it perfectly.
Oh, I'm so glad you're smart.
Toffee 5, a delicious caramel chocolate porter.
Better at Christmas than it is at Thanksgiving.
Indeed.
Yeah.
It's good
Thanksgiving.
anytime.
It's good anytime.
It's good.
American Thanksgiving is over. Or is it
No, it's
not?
next
This-
week. We're going down. We leave
Yeah.
Monday morning. Well, Monday, whenever we can leave.
I don't get American Thanksgiving. What is it
Wait,
celebrating?
wait, wait. You should not get Canadian Thanksgiving.
No, it doesn't. You're wrong.
Which one was first?
Canadian Thanksgiving
American
makes...
Thanksgiving was first. So Canadian Thanksgiving
I
is
gotta
just...
default
No,
to that,
that's not true though.
Yes, it is.
I
Which
don't
one was
think so.
celebrated first?
It might have been called
We can
Thanks.
end
It might
this-
it might have been called Thanksgiving
The
first.
weather is better. Like we
The
have
whole
like the
story-
story thing is
The whole-
about
Okay,
like
wait. What's
the
the story of
pilgrims
Thanksgiving?
that it's
That's the story. Okay,
whatever
then-
rock and
then
the
it's-
killing the
Thank you.
First Nations people.
Okay, here's my whole thing. The argument is always made in Canada that, or in the United States that,
No, they don't argue this at all.
their
Don't even
argument is
They don't even know. It's like they're like
Yeah, what are
they
you
don't even
talking
know.
about?
They don't
I
even know.
didn't even know
Canadians
there
are
was a
thing.
Canadian thing.
Like we thought
when I moved
Canadians
here.
were those funny things in South Park.
yeah. It's like,
Like,
what
why
do
aren't your heads wobbling
It's
around?
like you're real.
I don't understand.
You do think that everyone lives in, like, igloos, which
Canadians.
sucks to say that, but no, Americans think that.
No,
like,
it's
Canadians
crazy. When I came,
live
I'm
in
from South
igloos.
Africa, and it's like
Thank you, Cal.
it's crazy how many people are like, "You guys live in straw huts and no, just straight face, it's like straw huts, right?" It's like,
It's like, no,
My
you live in straw.
God,
I should say yes.
Anyway,
I do.
Thanksgiving is a celebration
You
of
guys
harvest.
always tell people that you have a pet penguin.
Yeah.
Harvest
Yeah.
ended 2 months ago, not at the end
Not
of
in
November.
the States.
Sure, it did.
No, it goes through October. It's still nice there. I am going
Yeah, I
down
know it's still nice
to
there,
Lake
but, like-
of the Ozarks this week. I've been looking at the temperatures. It's been 18. It goes from
Yeah, but
about
harvest
11
isn't
till
happening.
20.
Harvest is happening in North Dakota, Montana, Nebraska, Iowa, where it's like harvest is over. In
Sure.
corn country, harvest is over. It's like, yes, it's maybe harvest isn't over in Southern California.
Okay, but where did the
They're
pilgrims
probably on their
land?
third or fourth crop.
On the
really.
East Coast, where it's been winter for 2 weeks already.
New York, where's Plymouth Rock?
Well, it is kind of.
New
It
England.
could be cold. It could
New
be
England.
cold.
Massachusetts,
Yeah, that's like
Delaware.
You know what?
Massachusetts,
Maybe
yeah.
there was no like. What is the Earth shit that we're going through right now?
Global warming.
Yeah, that.
Climate change. It's not
Climate-
global warming. I hate
It's
that
not climate. What they weren't experiencing climate change back then, so maybe it was like the way it was supposed to be.
word. Right, indeed. 60 years ago.
I
when
think
they
I
came
won the
up with
argument. See,
No,
I knew I was
Heather,
gonna
you
win this.
didn't.
You just agreed with me. Like with
Also,
a
why do
smile
we
on
need
your
something
face.
so close to Christmas?
That's the
other
only
thing.
part that bothers me.
Hey, no, it's exciting down there. So Thanksgiving is the like launching of
Well, it's
Christmas.
yeah, it's like
Like
one
we get
season.
together for
But we
Thanksgiving.
don't need a launch to Christmas.
Have you ever been in the States for Christmas? It's insane.
I
Okay,
have
so
a
you
lot. I've
get
been
together
to
as a
American
family for Thanksgiving and you decorate the tree.
Wow.
That's like the celebration. And then for Christmas, then it's all up and like you did it together as a family and
And then
it's
you
like
go and
this
die at a
whole-
store on Black Friday.
Well, that's
You die.
Only
If you survive the
week.
store,
Only the
then
week.
you go back home and you decorate the tree.
It's like,
and-
when do you start training Azalea to punch people out when she's trying to get a deal at like at a Sam's Club?
I just
I think that's instinct.
Yeah.
it's either you have that instinct or you don't.
It's like that's
Yeah.
how they know
You
you.
can't teach it.
That's how they
Fight or
know you're
flight.
American or not.
Yeah.
I don't know. That shit's crazy. I don't go to that shit, but
I do totally. For us, it's just like I don't associate Thanksgiving with Christmas except for the food, really.
Yeah,
And
same,
the family,
yeah.
but like I don't. It's not like a spring pad to Christmas because like we've already.
not here.
Well, it's too
No,
far.
here
removed.
it's before
too-
Halloween.
It's too far removed.
It's
yeah.
like the spring pad for Halloween.
Yeah.
It's just like a beautiful time when we can sit down, shut the combines off, cook a turkey, and I don't need a Sam's Club membership. And I just
I-
love it.
Appreciate that it is different times of the year,
I guess it's like it's
so that
two
I can
different.
do both.
Both. Well, that's
Because like in
awesome.
Canada, big like you say, it's big time. It signals the end of harvest, and in the States, it signals the beginning of Christmas. Like it's two different
Like to
feels.
me, November is way too early to begin Christmas. Like we don't decorate till like December like 10th.
But there are really two different sects of people. There are.
Totally. I love Christmas.
Let's
Don't get me
start
wrong,
Christmas
I love
in
Christmas.
September.
Yeah, it's true.
And then
That's
there's
right,
like, let's
that's
start
right.
Christmas on the 20th of December, like my dad.
Yeah, right.
Like this
Get
year-
up the tree, shit. I already got the presents.
Like dad's 65, and this year my mother essentially apparently sat him down and was like, "You're never gonna say a bad thing about Christmas again, because we're getting old now."
Oh, yeah. Christmas is amazing. I love Christmas.
I do. That's like it's my favorite time of the year as well. I love it. So
It is. In boarding
good.
school, I was the one that decorated their whole room, the whole door. I'd have like tons of the Christmas books. Everyone would come into my room, sit on the bed, and I'd read them Christmas stories when everyone was missing home because they were at boarding school. Like that is what Christmas is about.
That's sweet.
The love.
That's really
It's the
cute.
love. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's really sweet.
Toffee 5.
Yes, cheers again.
Five.
Yes. Cheers. Oh yeah. Oh.
cheers.
Oh my
Cheers.
god, are we always
Cheers,
waiting for
Andrew.
you, friend?
It was just there was a lot of beer in there.
It's because I like Fran the best.
Yes.
Exactly, that's why you got the big mug.
Okay, but don't take it all this time.
No. I'm not. I don't have any. I don't.
It's what time?
He's running out of steam.
Cheers.
Cheers to Christmas. So this is Toffee 5, inspired yet again by the 5th day of Christmas. Toffee 5. 5. Toffee
love
5.
Toffee.
I love
Day of
Toffee
Christmas.
5.
Oh!
Aren't we doing the
I
5th day of
Yeah.
no, I see what you're saying now.
Oh.
Man, you're smart. That's great. I thought you meant like initially in conception it was inspired by the 5th day of Christmas. I'm like, what in the fuck is the 5th day of
Oh
Christmas?
no. No, we brought this beer.
I'm like, this is
inspired
fascinating.
by being on the 5th day of
It's like,
Christmas.
what inspired you to make stout
I usually
on the 5th
don't
day of
like
Christmas?
stout, and I love Toffee 5.
Well, it's
so
a porter,
weird.
so that's probably why.
Yeah.
Porter is
Dark beer.
Yeah.
I would have
yeah.
also just said stout because I'm
Porter.
I'm a
an
plebeian.
uneducated fuck.
Yeah, I'm a
Porter, the
plebeian.
first industrialized beer, circa 1800,
What is that?
1700
Like the
again.
first, like, does that mean
The
like
first-
mass
In
produced?
London.
Oh.
Yeah.
First mass
yeah.
produced.
Because why they
Well, because
the
the guys,
grains that they were malting, they were burning, so it was getting that dark. Is that?
they just all liked dark beer.
They
And
just-
mostly,
Oh, I thought they were just like burning it. Kind of. It was
most,
an easier way to.
they could only do brown or black back
Right.
then.
They couldn't control the colors of their.
Yeah, they probably didn't
Very good.
clean
Yeah.
like the large.
They didn't
Probably not.
have, they didn't, no one had thought of indirect heat transfer yet.
Right, everything.
So
was
like
in-
right now,
Oh,
like,
so it's
like
like-
how we
They're,
like,
like, burning
You would
it.
you would burn it black. Yeah. Okay.
so they would be like, here's the grain, here's the fire.
here's the grain, here's the fire.
You know,
Okay,
and now
now make
everything
beer
we
out of
do
it.
is like, here's the fire, the exhaust is gonna go out
Yeah.
here where we are, and then we're gonna blow air over it,
To
you
get
know,
the
and
heat
we're
to
gonna
it.
take the heat and put it where we
Yeah.
want, but we're gonna leave all the exhaust somewhere else.
You can really.
That's-
Yeah.
that's-
I mean, yeah, you can really fine tune color and everything now. Yeah.
So what,
Oh, yeah.
so
It's
what
all
should we
about
be
color.
taste like? What should we be looking for?
Okay, so
with
this-
porter.
Oh, this beer we brewed another beer inspired by me being from the States, because in America.
Oh, Donald Trump is the president there. So.
Shit, I haven't been back in a while. Is that what happened?
Anyway, tell us about America. Tell us about America.
What is it like? Five Goes West. Like,
There are no
Yeah,
cats in
In
America.
That's the best
Yeah.
movie ever.
In
Drew
Russia,
loves
we
it.
drink porter
It's the
from
best.
our
It's
old
scary.
boots.
So
It's
weird.
really scary. It's,
But he just sits there, he'll just like mouse the whole time.
I love it. Okay, so they don't have chippets. Score chippets. Do you know what I'm talking about? Those
Yeah.
bags of like.
You just
Yeah,
said
yeah.
words.
Like
Yep.
chunked up
Like,
score.
Yes,
Oh.
it's so good. Or
Oh.
Score Bar. They don't have Score Bar. And so when I moved to Canada, and I'm like, oh my god, what is this? It's amazing. And like, so my uncle, he lived with us. Like, he'd always be baking, but he'd have those bags of them in the freezer, and I would just go grab like a whole handful.
Yes.
I'd just walk by the freezer and I'd grab a handful. And I'd just grab a handful.
Everybody's
Like,
got score bits in the freezer.
fuck, those are so good. So I told Cam, I was like, I want you to make a beer that tastes like this, right?
Yep.
And
You
I
can
don't-
just make whatever beer you want.
then he just does it, and it's amazing. He's just like,
Yeah.
how about this?
Like, there's no love in it for him. He's never liked it. He hates
would-
brewing. He hates brewing beer. He hates beer.
Make
He
this
doesn't
beer!
like drinking.
It's like, what do you like about this beer, Cam? It's like,
I don't
Heather
give a
made me
fuck.
make this beer. Heather brought me from Czechoslovakia to make her beer in America. Well, go to America and
I'm
make
just
craft
happy.
beer.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
5-0
They should serve this at American McDonald's.
somewhere out there, right?
Oh yes, with the big eyes. Okay, I'm
He's
gonna
a
have to
great
watch
boss.
this. right after
Beneath the pale moonlight.
Okay, God. He'll be singing
I-
Paw Patrol. Andrew, hit us with another question.
All
I
right.
can say Paw Patrol.
Let me pick a good one here.
this. Did you pick that last question on purpose so that he'd pull it out of the bag?
No, I didn't. I
Yes,
didn't even
he
think about it.
did.
No. I totally, yes, I did. I'm smart like that.
Now we'll never know because he answered both ways.
Such is the majesty of Mary.
Next, from J.K. Rowling,
Yep.
Harry Potter and the Chamber of Blank. Next, from J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Syphilis.
And the Chamber of Gas.
Like a chloroform gas?
Sarah.
Chlorine, you mean?
Sarin gas, what?
You know, chloroform, you mean chlorine.
Chlorine gas, I mean. Next from J.K. Rowling.
Chloroform, you just get doused in chloroform.
It can kill you.
I-
It kills you.
I like
anything
chloroform.
could kill you. I'm just saying, it's like, I can't stay awake.
Next from J.K. Rowling,
Harry Potter and the Chamber of...
Harry Potter and the Chamber of...
What is it?
Oh, it's Harry Potter and the Chamber of...
How about
Turn of the century contraceptives.
Okay.
what are those?
Lambskin condoms.
Yeah, like lambskin
Like
condoms,
pulling out?
and like those
And like
vagina,
pulling out.
like vagina traps.
Jam jar method.
Yeah.
What do you call someone who pulls out? Dad? Because it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Really, Andrew?
Yeah.
Really?
Really?
Starts, picks a spot on the floor, starts staring really deeply.
Okay, what is it again?
Next, from J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Blank.
Harry Potter and the Chamber of Commerce.
Oh, that one I like.
That's a good one.
Canada!
The most brilliant people we've ever had on the
Cheers.
podcast.
That's what I was
Girls
trying to
1,
think of.
boys 0.
I was trying to think.
Harry Potter's like 40 years
Did
old.
I
now
take
in my
yours?
life.
No, I didn't. I was just like, she makes
What's a chamber?
she makes a lot of money, so like, what's like, her next book's just gonna be all about making money, and I was like trying to like chamber of
Chamber of
money,
money.
chamber
Chamber
of
of
chat.
money.
You took it
Chamber
right.
of money.
She's just like, she got it.
Yeah. Chamber of Beer?
Actually, to just have a total tangent, Harry Potter brought up. So they released what is kind of a eighth Harry Potter book, which was not like a book in the classical sense. J.K. Rowling with somebody else wrote a play called Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, which they had on. I don't know if they ever had it on Broadway, but they definitely had it in England, and they toured it in the United States. And anyways, they published it as a book. I bought it. I read it. Never, if you like Harry Potter, don't fuck with that book because it is not. It's garbage. Well, I'll say this. Do you like Harry Potter at all, or do you not? You know nothing about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, who doesn't watch Harry Potter?
Yeah, it's,
I've never really read
It
the
is
books.
kind of one of those
Yeah,
like.
same. I read the first two and I was like, eh. And
You
watched the
think.
movies.
Yeah, but I like the movies.
But it's like
Yeah,
it would be
like
an
adventure.
incredible when you read it. It sucks because it's like it comes under the guise of like, oh, this is a beautiful story, and the first like 50 pages they like throw all these fucking wrenches in the story, and they're like, oh my goodness, can you believe that this is going on? Like it's not really a spoiler because it's right away. It's like Harry Potter's kid is a Slytherin. What? And you're like, holy shit, what's gonna happen? But the whole book is just like a highlight reel of the movies or of all the previous books, because what they do is like the one kid gets it like the time turner, I think that's what they call it. They go back in time or whatever, and they literally just go to all the best parts in all the previous books, and they're like, how crazy was the dragon part in the fourth
really?
one? And it's like, it'd be an amazing play because you'd be like, you get to
Yeah.
see all your favorite Harry Potter seasons.
Totally.
Read the book, you're
Good
like,
idea.
God, is this a cheap fucking cash grab?
Yeah.
Kind of like
Should've bought it.
the flashback episodes in like sitcoms.
Of like Friends and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Which I like.
The
But
clip-
some people
clip
don't. You
shows.
hate them. He's like, oh, this is such a waste of fucking 30 minutes.
I'm like, oh, this is what they do when they need to go on holiday.
Flashback
Just
episodes.
just clip a bunch of shows of old clips together, and we'll get
Right,
it
we're
all
outta
in
here.
5 minutes. Yeah,
We'll
We're
see you on
going to
Monday.
Vegas.
I like them. They're nostalgic. Like Christmas.
I love Christmas.
What I we've answered this before, but one thing, obviously, because it's a Christmas themed podcast, we like to ask, what do you have a memorable Christmas gift that you received? That's like your this is my favorite Christmas gift, or a gift that you've given that was particularly like your favorite or most memorable.
Oh yeah, I remember like because my parents were divorced, so my dad would take me shopping like the day before, like around Christmas or something, and I would get all the stuff that my mom wouldn't buy me or wouldn't even allow me to have, right?
Oh God.
So I got, this is stupid, but she wouldn't let me get the Spice Girls CD, and so I got the Spice Girls CD, and
My parents wouldn't let me have Digimon when I was a kid. I feel like
See, you understand.
Yeah.
And but then on the way home, like, it was this moral dilemma. I'm like, Dad, I don't know if, like, this is okay. And he's like, you got two choices. And I remember this so clearly. It's so funny. I was like, what, 8 then? I don't know. You could either hide it from her and just keep it, and it's fine, whatever. Or you can tell her, and she'll probably take it away. And I decided to tell her, and
Good
she
person.
took it away. She took it away.
Well,
Well, no, that was a lesson learned.
well, yeah, but I'm
Do you
just
think I
saying
ever
it's
told
like
her anything
like,
ever
like,
again?
like
No.
the
I was
morality of
gonna
it.
say that's one of the things that like I find so weird when you talk to like people and like the relationship with their parents. It's like that's one thing my parents never did. It's like if I was ever honest with them, I never got punished for being honest. It's like, we're so glad you told us that. Thank you.
Yes.
And it's and like, and if it was something bad, it's like, and like, don't fucking do that.
Right.
But we're not going to punish you for coming forward and being honest about stuff.
Totally, and that's where I
Yeah.
was at as my
Yeah.
young, like, not jaded self. Like, I'm gonna be honest, and she's going to respect me.
And that never happened at all.
Yeah.
See, me, it's like I just remember the word so disappointed.
Yeah.
And then them moving to South
And that's
Africa.
2 words, but they just rammed it into one.
Yeah.
Francois, how's your relationship with your new dad? Is it better or?
You mean
Do we talk about this on
You
the
mean
podcast?
dad?
Just
New
dad.
dad?
No, I'm his dad. His parents moved back to South Africa, so I'm his dad.
Oh, that's nice.
new?
Dad, just dad.
Just dad, your dad, yeah.
That would be a good
It's
dad.
good.
I mean, I guess,
Everybody likes their dad. I don't understand.
I guess like there's your father and your dad,
Oh, your father.
like your biological father and your dad.
Yes, I guess we could call him Papa.
Yeah, you can throw a bunch of different names
There's
at him.
lots of words for dad.
He's
true.
still his dad, you know? No chicken wings,
I'm confused.
am I right?
Well,
And no
Lots of
Spice
Christmas
Girls.
roses.
No pay-per-view, buddy.
Cam?
No. I just want to be, because I think that's funny what you said is like that's a very there are certain things that you, because we're no longer children, you never think about those weird things you did like that, like pure morality where you're like, I need to be honest. And it's
Yeah,
like there's no
yeah.
reason for it. You're just like,
Yeah.
when you're that young, you just
Like,
you
that's
think
it.
it's like that is it. That's the
Yeah.
only way.
Yeah.
And so a moment in, I'll just bring up another example. A moment in the movie Step Brothers, which I think it's the most brilliant part of the whole movie because I'm like, it's so true. Because like, if you were a kid who was spanked ever, like in that movie, there's a scene that is so true to life, and it's like it's a scene when it's like they're like 40-year-old men. And then the dad who's like whatever 70, he starts spanking the
Will Ferrell.
40-year-old
Yes.
Will. He starts spanking,
Yeah.
and then he's like going in, and it's usually John C. Reilly, and he's got a horrified look on his face while he's looking at Will
Yeah.
Ferrell being spanked. He's like, oh my god! And then the dad like points at John C. Reilly. He's like, you're next, mister, and he's like, yes, sir.
He's like, stay right where you are. You're next, mister.
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And it's like that compliance with authority like that. It's like. That's something you don't even think about. It's like when you're a kid like that, it's like, and your dad is like, you're fucking, it's like, I'm gonna hit you in 15 minutes and you're gonna like it. And it's like, yes, sir, absolutely. Yes. And it's like,
It's like, what's the worst thing that can happen? He's already planning to hit you.
you, so it's
Like,
like,
he's gonna hit you.
So it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you, to make it as the least painful for yourself, comply and be like, but,
Totally.
no.
'Cause almost like just the fear of like the situation.
Oh, it's
of the
amazing.
power of the mental power is scarier than actually being hit.
It was such a true, because like I think I can't think of anything specifically, but I know that's happened to me. Where it's like one of my sisters
course, yeah.
was like we all got in trouble. One of them was getting spanked, and then my dad's like, "You're next, you fuck."
You're
And it's like
next.
absolutely, like, yes.
Yeah, I'm in here.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm in here.
But so like on the Spice Girls thing, which reminded me of this is a way more embarrassing story. I like I said, when I was a kid, I was not allowed a lot of things. Like it was like Harry Potter, no go. Pokemon, no go.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Simpsons, no.
Like no go. Like a lot. Like Simpsons, okay. It's adult cartoons. I get the logic there. Pokemon, what the fuck is bad about
Oh,
this?
It is
I don't
of the
love
devil.
Pokemon either.
And- but no, but
Pokemon-
why?
Yeah,
Like-
it looks like the devil.
Harry
or something.
Potter, sure.
Could be
Witchcraft.
like-
Witchcraft
I can
is
also.
of the devil.
Yeah,
I can sort of
witchcrafty.
see that one, but It's a mouse that I don't get it, but whatever. They didn't. I wasn't allowed to have.
It says right in the Bible, no electric mice.
No electric mice. Digimon and Pokemon
Psalms
was a no-go.
3:25.
And so I remember this and it's like.
When the Japanese
I
come out with
went-
electric mice,
I went
stay
to
away.
my best friend's like 7th birthday party or something, and for his birthday he got a Pokemon movie,
Right.
and this would have been like the year 2000 or 2001, so it would have been like the first
The
Pokemon
movie
movie.
was Pokemon 2000.
Yeah, so it would have been like the second Pokemon movie. I don't know,
So
first or
they
second
named it-
Pokemon.
they named it that.
It was the first Pokemon movie, and so he's like so excited to get this movie. He's like, yes, let's watch it, and like I'm sitting there like gritting my teeth and like clenching because I'm like, it's evil, but it's like my friend likes it, so I have to sit here. And he like puts it in, they start watching it. 20 minutes goes in, and then I start bawling my eyes out. And I'm like, I can't do this. It's evil. I can't do this to my parents. This is
See?
no good. And like everybody at this party's like, oh my god.
You're such a little.
Like,
Yeah.
what is happening
Yeah.
right now? It's like he's
How did you have
crying
friends?
because can you imagine me apparently like we put Pokemon on and
so-
you're
and
crying.
then you cried.
It's like, I don't understand. So then I remember, I'll
you're
never forget it.
raised.
They put on Tarzan, which is not evil, and
No.
Were you still upset?
no, that was good.
Oh, okay.
Then it was like calm down or whatever. But it's like shit like that.
I can
It's
just
just
see
like
little
what
Fran
the
so
fuck.
upset.
It's like how did you damage me psychologically so much as a child that I thought that
Like, why didn't-
cartoons were evil?
Why didn't your friends just like tie you up and put you in the closet?
Oh,
or
they
something?
did.
I have a really good therapist. Like I will just.
I would love his number or her number.
It's
sorry.
her, yeah. She's really great.
I would
she's
love
all
it.
about digging up those really.
I would
harsh
love to talk
childhood
to her for
memories.
hours about Pokemon and be like, I just thought Charizard was so cool, and my parents
And
just.
she
nope.
would love to take all your money for that.
She loves that.
The
Yeah.
crazy, the
She
crazy
keeps-
thing
she
about
keeps on
childhood
bringing up
trauma
different Pokemon. Like
is
she's
like-
like, yeah, but what about
you could
Wobbuffet? And like,
you could
probably
have
talk
you could
about
have
it.
you could have like deep seated things you don't even know are there that like
Totally.
totally repressed.
You have
and
to
then,
do like that
yeah.
weird eye
Yeah.
movement therapy or like
I don't know
some
if I
kind of
wanna be digging
hypnotist
that
therapy.
up.
Well, your
That's
parents
the thing,
won't
if
let
Best
you
buried.
It's
because
best
it's
buried.
witchcraft.
Yeah.
it's just all witchcraft.
Cam,
That's awesome.
memorable Christmas present.
Or Christmas memory it
Or
could be
Christmas
too.
memory.
But
It doesn't
Hopefully you
have to
weren't
be so
spanked or you didn't buy
spiritual.
did you get like a my
space
first
for
brewing kit or something?
Yeah.
when you were-
My mom did find a picture of me in front of like an entire wall of growlers when I was like
Oh.
7.
Was that Christmas time?
That's adorable.
That wasn't Christmas time.
It is
but,
cute.
yeah. My
is
most
cute.
memorable Christmas memory is when my like auntie threw a chair at my cousin at Christmas dinner. They're like
would be
not
awesome.
like they're not like the ones that stand out. I have a big family, so obviously the
family.
bigger the family, the more chance.
The more
for,
drama, yeah.
Like
Yes,
people
indeed.
not getting along. So
Brad can relate there too.
I have 12 cousins on just my dad's side.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And we all
That's
pack
amazing.
into a small little house.
The smallest house
Yeah.
ever.
And
Yeah.
now my grandma's on oxygen. It's like taking it to another level.
Because there's an oxygen
she's
cord.
got her oxygen thing, and then the cord runs from the back corner of the house.
And she's so,
So
mobile. Like
she's
she's
like-
going places.
She's like walking
There's, like-
around.
there's,
She's
like,
just
50
walking
people
around the
in
house,
living
and
room.
everyone's this cord is just like running on the floor. It's coming over you. It's like choking people. They're like,
You're like,
you know,
whoop, whoop, whoop.
people are like accidentally like leaning on the cord, and then people are like, "You're killing grandma!"
Take it off!
They're jumping.
That's funny.
Best Christmas memories. They're just like the worst memories, but they're somehow the best.
Oh no, they're
memories.
awesome.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's just like how it was since I was like
I just like
pre-memory, so it's
I
like not
wonder
bad to me.
how it
I'm
would've
just like,
turned
oh
out.
my god,
This is how
if
it
I
is.
got
that's how it
that
is.
Spice Girl CD. Like if that situation
Oh,
right
butterfly
then
effect.
would have turned out differently.
You would have died in a gutter in Detroit or something.
In
Thank
Detroit.
God your mother
Yeah.
took that CD.
Or I
away.
could have been like a superstar in a girl band.
Yeah, maybe.
yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Fine, whatever.
It's likely that you would have been. Now that we all, if it's hypothetical, I'm sure you would have been.
Well, I
You
haven't.
Harvard-
If you
so
believe-
there's only the other option.
There's
If you believe in in the multiverse theory, there is a universe in which that
Is
is,
happening
is
right
the
now.
case. Yeah.
Most of them you're dead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
'cause-
There's like 8 or 9 of them where
Where you're not dead.
Yeah, me and my buddy were like reminiscing. We're like, thank God Canada has healthcare. Because like we'd be
So
dead,
true.
you'd be dead. We're
else
like thinking
we'd be
about
more
all
dead,
the
yeah.
people who we know would be dead if like they didn't get quick medical care, or they would be
That is
they would be
very
like
well.
indebted
Yeah.
for life.
Yeah,
you know,
for forever.
Yeah.
like they'd be like indebted for life if they didn't just have medical care. Like he'd be like, I'd be like, he like got kicked in the face by like an elk, and then it got like some weird infection because of the shit.
Oh, yeah,
and,
like
his
300
face went from like a tiny cut that big to like swollen and like
Ew.
all of a sudden like after dinner like rushed to the hospital, and then like a different time his appendix was about to rupture. He's like went out for beers. He's like, no, I feel like shit, and then like I didn't see him for like a couple days. Like tracking him down, I'm like starting to get worried, and all of a sudden I get a hold of someone. Oh, he's in the fucking hospital. I go visit him. Be like, yeah, that night I went in. My appendix was about to burst.
My God.
Healthcare?
Yeah.
Childcare.
The
All
append-
sorts of stuff. That's just like one person like would have just died, or like
been
crazy
financially fucked for life.
Yeah, well, that's
Or
it.
his
Yeah,
parents would have, I
financially.
guess.
Yeah, because they're supposed to still give you immediate care. You just get like
It's like
yeah,
you just sign a
$500,000
piece of paper that's like,
bill.
we'll just garnish your wages
Yeah.
forever now.
Yeah.
People in the States like that never happens. Then like the next day you see a news story. Yeah, I had to choose which of my fingers I wanted because I could only afford for them to attach one of them on. It's like they lose 3 fingers. It's like it's like I chose my pinky or my middle
Can
finger.
you like
and-
search Google
No,
that?
it's-
Which finger to keep? Like,
It's
which is
so
the best
sure.
bad.
finger?
Like, there's that episode of The Office where it's like Pam is like, she won't go. She's like giving birth, and she's like, I will not go to the hospital because she's like, I only get 2 days, and she's like, I want the
Covered,
day,
yeah.
I want the day, and I would like another day, and so she's like, until this child is literally coming out of me, it's like I will not go to the hospital. It's like that is fucked up beyond all belief. Like that's
The thing is, people in the States are like, yeah, that makes sense. Like totally, like that. I would, yeah. That's
Not
their
all
logic.
people in the States.
not all.
No, in the States, not saying from the States, but in
But I'm
people
sure
who
there's
live
people
there.
in there that are good still.
If they have medical, if they have good medical
escaped. I'm a
insurance,
good one.
Yeah.
what does that stress do to people? That's what we're like.
It's just like
that's the other part of it
You
too.
could
It's
What,
like-
probably-
what about like just having that peace of mind, like
All the
how
time.
like how much?
well, we all have
Two-
it. We don't even think about
I
it.
mean, I don't
On the
think
flip-
about it.
on
You
the
don't have
flip
to worry
side-
about that.
Yeah.
on the flip side, though,
We still
we do have lots of people in Canada who are like, my tummy hurts. I need to go to the emergency room. It's like, no.
Oh, and on the other side of that is we also have some shitty healthcare because it's free. We don't pay for it, so we don't
Directly,
get to
yeah.
pick
Yeah.
our doctors necessarily. We don't get to pick the kind of care we're going to get. We, like, the doctors here don't believe in Lyme disease in Saskatchewan, even though you can get Lyme disease here. So there's some, like,
Oh
you
yeah,
know,
there's awful like this.
Well, it's
So
like
you get
it's
passed
like
around,
to
passed
really
around,
say
passed
this is a controversial issue, but it's like some people who are like pro-life that it's like you like let's say you're looking for what's the word
an abortion.
Contraceptive.
well abortion, but I was thinking
like
of
the
the
Plan
oh,
Plan
Plan B
Planned
or
Parenthood
contraceptive.
or like any sort of
Yeah.
anything. It's
Birth
like,
control.
you're looking for that kind of thing, and then because
Catholic
that
doctor.
medical professional you're talking to is like super pro-life, they will steer it in a way that it's like makes it too late or makes it so inconvenient that it's like, and that shit is very fucked up.
Right.
Especially in small communities where you don't have an option
Yeah.
to go to another clinic. It's like, this is the clinic.
This
Good
is-
luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I gotta say, like, I've only been to a hospital like twice, but it's like I remember in Vancouver one time was coming home from school and then all of a sudden just had the weirdest, most awful stabbing chest pain, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going out now. And then called my dad and he's like, yeah, you're going out now. Maybe go to the hospital. And it's like, okay, say goodbye to mom. But it's like I just walked to the hospital, like, and that is one thing I gotta say for anybody who like if you would like more immediate care.
Well, yeah.
Say
lie
you
and
have-
tell them your
Say
chest-
you
A heart
have chest.
problem.
Well, no, but
Chest
mine
pain,
was
right.
like it was there.
That's
It-
like the
it-
first thing they're
it,
supposed to ask you.
it,
Do you
it
have
just
chest pain? Yeah.
it just so happened that like mine was this heart area that hurt. But like,
There's just gas.
but if you have like my toe hurts, but it's like you just go and you're like right here hurts real bad, real bad. And then
It's like
no,
absolutely don't
My
do
toe
that
hurts.
because
because
it's no. Because once you're in there, like you can be
Oh,
like no, literally once you're in there.
Hold on. I forgot.
You have the right to say, okay, this don't hurt so much anymore, but this do hurt. And then like
Maybe they both hurt.
because I think he's on the hook. Like a doctor's on the hook for like 10 minutes or something. Like they will schedule at least 10 minutes for every patient. So it's like he's in there for 10 minutes. So it's like he's not gonna be like, get the fuck out of here.
You can be like, my heart hurts. Wait, it feels better. But now that you're here, my
I think
toe
I broke.
is also...
I think I broke my toe.
Yeah, like he will look at it.
Yeah.
Unless he's a real jaded prick, but he will look at it.
Who's the jaded prick?
But I'm just saying, it's like I remember walking in there and it was like this huge weight room. Like I went up to the lady, it was like, she's like, you need to fill this information. I started filling out, and she's like,
Yeah.
oh, so what's the problem? It's like, yeah, right here is like just it stabs.
It's hurting bad.
And then she rips the paper out of my hands, and she's like, come here. She like sits me in a fucking room. I'm like, oh.
I mean, you look near death all the time.
Yeah, well.
I got pretty immediate care. I went in. It turned out to just be like, I guess like a panic attack. But I went in there and I thought I was having an allergic reaction to something. I'm like, yeah, like it feels like my throat is closing and like someone's sitting on my chest. And she's like, get people going like right now. Get people in here.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Also, like I had a whole thing. I was actually gonna like put it on social media, but just like I had the strangest experience at the ER the one time. I wasn't there urgently, but I knew I needed to go to the ER, and I'm sitting there and I was texting I think you two, like tales from the ER or whatever, all those like the crazy shit that I heard. So the first thing was sitting beside this guy. I've been there for like 3 hours. Guy beside me is like, yeah, I've been here since 6 a.m. and I'm like, that's like almost 10 hours. He has like a mask on. I'm like what happened? He's like, yeah, someone tried to break into my sister's house in Bigger, and I confronted him and he stabbed me a bunch of times with a screwdriver, and then he stabbed me in the nose, through the nose with a screwdriver.
Oh my
I'm like,
God.
what the fuck? And he takes his mask off and he literally, like, part of his nose is missing. He has this huge gaping like hole through his nose into his fucking skull. And he's been waiting there for like 10 hours. He's like, yeah, the hospital in Bigger called ahead, but I've still been waiting here. And then as I was going back, he was still waiting there.
No.
And he's like well,
Maybe he didn't communicate very well. What happened?
He's like, he showed the nurse again because the
Shut
nurse
up.
had switched, and she's like, yeah, like we're still waiting to see for an ENT to come in. And he's like, fuck this, I'm leaving. Like, I'm not waiting here for another. I've been here for more than 10
Goes
hours.
to the dollar store, gets like a sewing kit, is sitting in the waiting room.
He's just like,
Because like you need to like sew shit up quickly because it starts to heal.
well,
Yeah.
that's the only thing is like, because that sounds it's either a really extreme case of people waiting, because I think very rarely will people make you wait if you have facial wounds, but
well, it's
like,
because you need an ENT. It's because you need an ENT.
But that's the thing is like, so they will like, some people will usually look at you right away, and if they can tell that your wounds are not like life threatening, you're not bleeding to death and like that kind of stuff, like it probably looks real bad, but if they can tell that it's not as bad as it looks, then like maybe it was
right.
a
If it is
situation,
superficial wounds,
like,
For sure he wasn't bleeding. Like for sure he wasn't life threatening, or else he would have been in there.
So that's
but
the
it was
thing.
obviously
know what's a priority. I guess
that is.
know,
It's
right?
like it is.
Doctors
It's
know.
like
yeah.
it
was obviously very
When
uncomfortable.
Kalita got her jaw broken, like we went in to visit her the day after, and she still hadn't seen anyone. So she was sitting there, like
And that-
freaking out. She's like,
that's like one of the most.
and that was
painful
like
things in
12
the world.
hours, and she's sitting there and freaking out and crying, and her fucking jaw is broken and bleeding. And...
Well, the worst thing about her whole thing is they said your jaw's broken. We're gonna have to like wire it shut
and reset it
so you're not allowed to eat.
for 6
And
weeks.
there's gonna be someone here in the next couple hours. Well, the next couple hours went from a couple hours to so this poor
like a full
girl
day.
had not eaten for like 24 hours. Like,
Yeah.
like you need to be like.
And like, what if she had
It'd
come
be
in
like-
not eating for 8 hours?
Well, she was drinking that night. She was at a
Yeah, so she hadn't eaten probably for like 2 days. Like, of course, this like poor person.
yeah, she was freaking out.
It's just freaking out, like
'Cause
not
it probably
sleeping,
hurts.
not eating, just like in pain.
Yeah. And then she worked at the brewery for 6 weeks with her mouth wired shut.
When was
Talking
this?
like
I
this.
don't even remember. It must not have.
She wouldn't stay home.
Gosh, a couple years ago. I don't know.
Must
2 years ago.
not have been in that during that time period.
Well,
so-
she's into like metal, and she goes to all this crazy fucking shows.
Did you get in a mosh pit?
Sometimes she invites me to stuff.
She got
where I'm
kicked in
like,
the
Kalita,
she got
like,
kicked in the face. Yeah.
this is. We are from two
Jeez.
different worlds, you and I.
Francois
Yeah.
got punched in the face at a Five Finger Death Punch concert.
I did.
That makes
Got
sense.
Knocked out.
Right.
Knocked the fuck out.
He was on the edge of the mosh pit
You have
and
to
just
pay
got
extra for that ticket.
I did.
Yeah.
It's like they
part of the
say.
experience.
Yeah.
They say it's like, hey, the knockout punch super ticket, and you're like, fuck yeah. And then it's like the only extra thing is somebody knocks you the fuck out. And it's an extra $400.
You're like, oh, I was expecting the VIP treatment.
Has anyone here been like, other than Fran, has anyone been like knocked unconscious before?
I haven't. I've only ever grayed out twice.
I've I went through a phase when I was 13, I think, that I was blacking out. This is crazy.
Wow.
So I went and the one time, not by drinking.
Oh,
I just went through this phase where I just blacked out every time I drank. It was so weird.
I was 11.
I was like 11 or 12, and every
I
time
was
haven't
finishing
blacked
2
out
cases
since,
a
yeah.
night, and like I would just black out. I don't
No,
know
I was
why.
just like seeing black and I was passing out, right? So I was getting out of the shower and I blacked out, passed out, hit the ground, had 14 stitches across my chin.
That's fucking terrifying.
So scary. That's like so brain.
Scary. It,
'Cause that's like-
brain black. So then I guess I was growing too fast and I was getting like vertigo, like I had grown.
Blood wasn't getting where
quite
it
a
needed to
bit,
be
yeah.
fast enough.
Like I'd gone really tall, and then. But while I was in the hospital, they did like EKGs, and they kept doing EKGs, and they brought in another EKG machine, and I was freaking out. I'm 13, and they're like, all these EKG machines are broken. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. So apparently, this is when I found out my heart is wired backwards. Isn't this cool?
really.
It's the first for the podcast.
Yay!
Well,
I'm first!
We've had
What do
2
you mean
people
by
with Wikipedia pages and somebody with their heart wired backwards.
Yeah.
Like your blood flows the wrong way?
No, her like the EKG goes. Beep, beep,
Yeah.
Hers goes. Beep, beep.
Isn't that fucking crazy?
But I don't, like, how does that work?
Yeah, I can't even
Electrical-
remember
The electrical
my-
pulses go
Backwards.
Yeah, I'm just
other way or
backwards.
something.
Isn't
That's
that
so
crazy?
crazy.
So they thought I was like breaking all these machines, and no, I just found that out. So
I think I'm not sure if when my knee got fucked in football. I don't know if I actually blacked out, but it was like I remember being up 1 minute and then down the next minute, and like people were around me. But like I don't think I like fully like was unconscious. It was more just like
right.
what just like whoa, like what just happened kind
Yeah,
of thing.
like for a
And
second.
if it was, it was if it was like yeah, like a split second kind of thing. But that's the closest I've ever come.
Crazy backwards heart.
Crazy backwards heart.
The closest I've ever come, I did karate for like 9 years or something. I think I did it 9 years. Anyway, I started pretty young, so like I was pretty high up when I was still pretty young.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like training with all the senior people, and I got invited to a black belt test, which like in my club especially was like a very big honor. So like everybody else, like the person who was going for their black belt was like 40 or 50 years old, and anybody else who was even involved was like 25, 30, and I was 14 or 13, and I was going against like we did this warm up thing, and from another club up in Saskatoon actually, I was down in Gull Lake, and it was this guy who was already a black belt, and he was like kind of a jaded prick, and he was like doing martial arts to beat people up and like
Okay, yeah.
to fight.
Yeah. Like
And
in
he
Karate
didn't-
Kid? Like
he
all
didn't
those
like that
freaking
I was
kids?
there, so he sparred against me, and he faked me one way, and I leaned my head over, and then he just drilled me in the head with a kick, and I went down, and I never fully blacked out, but it was like lots
Seeing
of different
spots,
colors and
yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you remember I came back to the dorms after,
Yeah.
and like I'm just like hugging the toilet, almost puking,
Oh,
and it's just like, why did you do that to me?
that's so
Like,
rude.
It's like,
yeah, just do it, kid.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
like fuck.
Because
like
I'm a tough man and I can take down a kid.
Yeah, exactly. I can kick
No,
that kid.
what is it? Karate Kid? No mercy. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We
That's such a
at
sad movie.
time.
We're at time.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, you haven't even finished.
Well, let's
Oh yeah,
finish it.
we can go like another 5 minutes.
Here's
We
the
shall
backwards
finish.
hearts.
Backwards
Oh,
hearts,
man.
eh?
Yeah, it's a backwards heart.
Well,
Please
let's
don't
end
throw that
off
away.
with one of these questions here.
Yeah.
These questions are hard.
Where the backwards heart says what?
What?
Go ahead.
Blank. Bet you can't just have just one.
Prairie Sun craft beer. Bet you can't have just one.
I bet you can't
Yeah.
either. It's a delicious craft brewery located on 2020 Quebec Avenue. Oh, but bananas.
All of them.
I will. Blank, I bet you just can't have just one. A friend of ours from home who you would never believe this came out of his mouth said that his significant other said, earth-shattering orgasm.
What?
Bet you can't have just one.
Can you elaborate a little bit?
Oh, just a friend of ours who would never say something like lewd
Oh,
like that.
right.
Was like, my girlfriend said that I gave her an earth-shattering orgasm. And I was
When he
like,
pushes glass.
he doesn't talk like that. No, he doesn't have glasses. He's not a nerd, but he's very proper. So that's a term I hadn't heard colloquially before.
Earth-shattering orgasm. That is a pretty
It's in like
Powerful
every teen
imagery.
magazine.
Powerful
Not
imagery. And
teen
she
magazine,
also
but,
wouldn't be
like-
the kind of lady that would say something like that, at least not in public. I don't know
They
what
got
to
it
say.
from the commercial.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
That's
that
on
one
the Durex
commercial.
now.
Yeah. Yeah, they say it on TV.
Really?
Public television. Where is it gone?
What is this world coming to?
Cam, do you want? Are you just beer? Do you want to have your own? I won't force you.
Force him.
Say
Get the
one.
knives out.
Say one.
Can't you have just?
Just not good at these games.
Well, yeah, they're
Hey,
really
what's that?
hard.
Fran? Pudding pops.
Pudding
Can't have
pops.
this one.
Oof, that is a dark overtone to that.
Yeah. And I mean pudding pops in the sense that young
Like-
female interns. Pudding
Yeah,
pops.
like
Oh.
Bill Cosby's pudding pop. They couldn't have
Fuck.
Bill
that.
Cosby's
Just
pudding
You just
pops.
ruined my whole childhood life. My mom would call me Puddin' Tat.
That's
No.
different from a pudding pop.
Okay, I know, but you just like.
It's close
ruined
enough.
it.
Thanks everybody for joining us. Thank you to our guests, Cam,
Ham and Kether.
Ham and Kether.
This is a long time coming. We've been talking about having you guys on for a podcast
Since
for
the
fucking-
beginning.
Since the beginning.
Yeah.
I know. I've been waiting for my invite. Thanks.
We probably forgot to tell them that we just bring beer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You guys want to come on next one?
Yeah. What's the next one?
No.
Yeah, well,
Weirdly enough, it's open for you guys.
I want to come to the final, the finale.
I don't know if you do.
Aww.
It's just
I
like
do.
you do have a modicum of professional, like not even modicum. You have a professional
Do I?
air. Do you like you
You have-
do.
You have
The last
Yeah.
podcast,
is just
maybe in prison. Like maybe we shouldn't be allowed.
You
Legally.
will be so impressed by how I can actually keep my.
But like we had
Cool.
79 drinks between 4 people in an hour and a half.
It was
No
not.
problem. No
Heather
problem.
would be
I
fine.
can drink
I'd
all
be
of
just
you
asleep.
Fine. He'd be sleeping,
So-
and I would be like the last one drinking.
So at the brewery, we
Totally together.
serve beer flights. So 4 or 5 ounce samples. And then someone had the idea.
Great idea to come in and have one.
Yeah. So someone had the idea. Then we also sell schooners.
Scooters. So scooter
So-
flights.
So then if you
Jesus.
drink 4 schooners, you would then become an admiral because you would have a fleet of ships.
A fleet of
That's-
ships.
Under
So
your
wait, so
control.
if you do 4 schooners,
Then you would
is there a time limit?
then you would become an admiral.
Okay.
Just in
Time
one
limit.
night.
No time limit.
Oh,
no.
what do you get if
off
you're
camera.
an
I'll have to ask
Just
about something.
because it's
but-
fun.
You just say you're
Okay,
an
so
admiral.
then.
Yeah, you're just an admiral.
Like
it's
the
fun.
12
But
acre
I,
club.
when
You
I
guys
was,
need to make that a thing.
But when I was
So-
learning about
No,
this,
so anyway, so for my birthday, I was like, everyone's been doing this. Like, they get
Let's
super
do it.
hammered. I'm like, oh, it's my birthday. I'll be an admiral
That's
for my
just so
birthday.
much fun.
This will be really fun.
didn't we like?
And Heather's
do a
like, oh, I'll
competition?
be like an admiral too.
Who can do
Heather,
it first? Who can do it
yeah,
first?
so we were like raising. Heather misunderstood stance. I like pass out in the car after drinking 4. She
Not
drinks.
driving, just
She thinks that you have to drink a schooner of every tap at the brewery.
So 9.
So she
9
stays.
schooners.
So she stays up all night and drinks a schooner of every tap, plus does shots and
Oh yeah.
everything
Plus,
all
by that
night.
point,
like,
I was just like
closes
so on
closes
the go.
the place down.
That's
And
right.
your tolerance is on.
So she has the key,
That's
so she keeps it open to close it down even late. Like I wake up, I'm like, I need to
I
take
am
you
the
home
only
now.
real admiral.
Yeah,
I would say.
I feel like
triple
you're-
admiral.
We
Triple
Like, is there a word for somebody who's never seen water but somehow controls the whole Navy?
Poseidon.
Poseidon. Oh,
No,
Poseidon.
he lives in the water. Yeah,
What about the
Poseidon,
girl
sure,
one?
Poseidon. I like
I
that.
have one.
So 9 schooners.
I have on my own.
And let's say mitigate with 6 shots. 9 schooners and 6 shots makes you Poseidon.
I need a fucking trike. 4.
Trident.
Trident. Yeah.
A quadrant.
A nitrant.
9. Yeah, a 9 drink.
A Hydra.
We'll just put a what's the Jew thing?
What's the-
Menorah.
Oh,
Put a
swastika.
menorah on a stick. Yeah. Swastika.
That's the anti-Jew thing.
Well, I know.
Hey, last thing I have to bring this
That's
up
the
'cause I
funniest thing I've
remember.
ever fucking heard.
In
What's the
college,
Jew thing?
in
The swastika?
college, the agro kids and I did this thing called the 12 acre club.
I'm part of the 12
Because-
acre club as well.
And Andrew did. We
Okay.
had this thing that was used for mixing dry granular chemical, but it was measured in acres, and it must have been like a 6-ounce glass.
Okay.
And so we filled it with rye, and you had to do it like just
Ooh.
slam the whole
A
thing.
12
We had to-
acre.
Yeah.
We had to do 12 acres of rye because
Yeah.
that was the top measurement.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
but
Oh,
that's
yeah.
not
I've done
Poseidon.
it.
Oh,
I
yeah,
wouldn't do that
easy.
anymore.
No, I wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
It was. I came
Yeah,
so
like
close to
we had
puking.
like the 8-ounce shot glass, and it was like 2 ounces,
Oh,
like
yeah.
pussy, like
I know.
2 to 4,
Those are
like
gross.
okay, like oh you're getting there, like yep you're a star, like up at the top. Yeah, we do 8-ounce shots of whiskey all the time.
Aw.
My one buddy drank so much whiskey, he now has acid reflux forever because it burnt out his like stomach like sphincter, and he has like a deeper raspier voice.
It's
Like
a
he
lot,
like
there's
so
a lot
if
of
you have a
alcohol for your
sexy
body to take
voice,
away.
he like
That's all you
burnt
have to
his
do.
vocal
That's all
cords
you
in
have to
whiskey.
do. Commit
Like,
10
shit.
years to drinking whiskey.
And, like my other
Really
buddy
hard.
got like a couple stomach ulcers. Like
We were-
it was a bad first year.
The first podcast we drank like whiskey out of tumblers, but it was just like a full glass of whiskey. And it was like, how do some people just enjoy doing this? Like, it's like we had to do it in an hour, but
Right.
I actually didn't mind it
it's
as much
so
as I thought
tough.
I was going to.
I know. I have to agree with that. I was like, I didn't mind as much as I did, but it's just
Well,
like,
by the first one, you pretty much burnt the taste buds off.
But, like,
And
why-
So then you're just getting the
it-
sweetness
My-
and
my-
not that alcoholiness.
my question, I guess, is like, what? How do you get to the point where that's your first choice?
Yeah, like
'Cause
beer
it's like-
first.
Because have you ever had like an 18-year-old Scotch? It's got like the
No, but like, once again,
complexities
if
of
it's with the
flavor
taste,
and-
it's like I would have a shot or two, or not a
Very
shot,
good
but it's like I would have a sip, 2 sips, like maybe an eighth or
well,
a
that's
quarter,
that's
a
all
quarter
you
of a
that's all
glass.
you usually would drink with.
But that's what I'm saying.
Scotch
But
of
with
that.
us, I guess nobody really drinks a full glass of whiskey.
Well, thanks everyone for joining us. Again, Heather and Cam from Prairie Sun.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you
This
very
was
much.
so
Yeah,
fun.
this is fun.
Bye bye.